So once you achieve this, you can as well render more than just one property for one selector. But for us to achieve that, we need a symbol which is known to be semicolon. This semicolon is we use it to separate a whole kind of property and the value from the other one. Okay, so you can either have it on a straight line or come down and have the next one. So simply, let's just talk about this font size. Okay, yeah, let's work with the font size. Let's say we want to make it maybe 30 pixel, and let's give it another one. Let's call it the font style as referring to font style. Yeah, italic. And let's refresh. Right now you can see the size doesn't look different from the other one before, right? So let's increase the size so you can be able to see the obvious results or obvious difference, right? So let's make it 50, which is too much, but let's just give it 50. All right, wonderful. So now we get to see same thing I can do to the rest of these elements. I can either pick the paragraph, pick the image, just the way I did here, but here is just the inline. I can render it here instead of putting it here. Okay, so yeah, any of the elements. Now going forward again, if I have more than one paragraph, I don't want to use more than one H1 because you know in every page you can only have one H1. Like standard web page should only have one H1. So here let's simply just have another paragraph. So simply duplicate this paragraph, just go copy it and probably paste it down here. Okay, so this is my first web page created with HTML. Let's say here is second text. All right, if I refresh, I have this text here. Here is the second text. Now I want to start a paragraph. I really want you guys to see the difference right now. Okay, so if I come down here, I'm done with this H1. I might come back here to adjust it later depending on what I want to achieve. Right now we're done. Okay, now coming down here, let's have paragraph. Same way. Now with this, now let's kind of give it a font size. Let's make it 20 pixel. What can we give the paragraph? Let's give it a color, or maybe let's try something different here. Let's give it chocolates. Okay, now I have one paragraph here, I have the second paragraph here. Now calling the paragraph, they both inherit a style. That's the beauty of the element. Once I style a particular element, it reflects on all the elements that belong to that category. And I call a paragraph, all the paragraph I have in that page inherits their style. All right, but what if you don't want to do that? You want to have a paragraph styled differently from another paragraph for some reasons, right? You want to have it done differently. So what can we do to solve that? That is where the second kind of element comes in, that you can use to play to solve the problem, right? What's the problem? Okay, so how do we do that? What we can do here is call on another selector, which is to be class selector. Okay, class selector. How do we use class selector? The way to use it is simply coming down to your tag, right, to declare an attribute called class. Now you declare a class. Let's give it a name. So let's just call it P1. Okay, let's name it P1. Now this is more like we are saying on all men, right? Definitely if you have 10, 6, 15 male in the room, you all kind of listen to that person, because I said all men, probably I said all men stand up. So as long as you're a man, you're going to stand up, right? But now, if I say all men that are fair in color to stand up, now some men are going to sit down while some are going to stand up. That's what I'm trying to do here. So you're trying to kind of give a tweak with this style. So I'm calling on a paragraph, but with the one with P1. So now, how do we style the class selector? We use something we call period, full stop, right, as symbol of calling on class attributes in our element. So when I call on period, I need to put the name of that class, which is P1. Now I have it. So what do I want this P1 to inherit? So probably I want to say, okay, I want your color to be different from other paragraphs. Probably I want you to be brown instead of being chocolate. So let's say now it's not really, the color is not really different, right? Based on my own kind of view. Okay, so let's make it black instead of brown. So I'm going to say black. Save. All right, good. So here we have this first paragraph to be black, and the second one still kind of chocolate, right? So we have used the P1 to separate from inherit the chocolate color. Okay, so now that is class selector. Okay, and at the same time, we can do it this way. Now you are saying you want to kind of have a default style, or now what is happening here is this. Now this P1, this color is going to reflect on everywhere we have P1, everywhere, just like when you call an element, everywhere you have that element is going to reflect. So when I call P1, imagine I have P1 in my H1. Let's say class here as well, and I have P1 here as well. Save. Now it's black, but black and the italic is still on it. How? Why? So simply what happened here is this: program runs line by line. Okay, the line 1 kick off. Once the line 1 is correct, it picks line 2, line 3, just like that, and before you know it, it runs all the whole line and display the result for you on your web. That's just how program works. Very smart, right?